Hello, baseball fans, and welcome back to BBSN. It is time to resume our 1922 Browns Strat Time Machine replay, where the 1922 St. Louis Browns have been transported to 1977, replacing the Toronto Blue Jays, and they are about ready to start their second game of the season against the Chicago White Sox. And the Browns opened up the season 2 days ago with a 5-2 win over the Sox. And today's starting lineup's basically the same for both teams as in the opener. For the Sox, leading off, playing left field, Ralph Garr. Batting second at shortstop, Alan Bannister. Batting third, playing second base, George Orta. Richie Zisk will hit cleanup and is in right field. At first base, batting fifth, Jim Spencer. DHing, Oscar Gamble. Hitting seventh, third baseman Eric Soderholm. Batting eighth, center fielder Chet Lemon. And Brian Downing will be behind the plate and hit ninth. For your Browns, leading off and playing right field, Jack Tobin. Batting second at the hot corner, Frank Ellerby. Hall of Fame great George Sisler will bat third and is playing first. Ken Williams will be cleanup and is in left field today. Baby Doll Jacobson will bat fifth and play center. At second base, batting sixth, Marty McManus. Hank Severide will handle the catching duties and hit seventh. Chick Shorten in his second game as DH, a position he seems to like thus far, will bat eighth. And bringing up the rear of the order, Wally Gerber, the shortstop. Your starting pitchers today for the White Sox, Chris Knapp. He had a record of 12-7 with a 4.60 ERA in 1977. And for the Browns, Elam Van Gilder went 19-13 with a 3.42 ERA in 1922. So without further ado, batter up, and Ralph Garr will step to the plate for the Sox to lead things off here in the top of the first inning. And just a slight camera adjustment here so that we get everything. And we are ready to go. So Van Gilder gets a sign from Severide, the pitch, 6 and 8. And that'll be a line out to first base. So a quick first out as Sisler takes care of Garr. Bannister the batter. 4-4. And that will be on the catcher's card, and it's a 10. And Severide is a 2. And that will be a dribbler in front of the plate. Severide up with it, fires to first, and we have 2 down. And that brings up second baseman George Orta. And 3-8. And Orta pops it up. And underneath that is McManus. And that will take care of the Sox here in the top of the first inning as they go down in order. So no runs, no hits, no errors. And coming to bat will be the home-standing St. Louis Browns. And Jack Tobin will lead it off. The right fielder brings a little bit of pop out of the leadoff spot. And the pitch from Knapp. 1 and a 10. And couldn't have scripted it better. That pop goes deep and that ball is out of here. HR puffing stuff, and the Browns on the second pitch of the ball of their inning jump out to a 1-0 lead. Tobin with the leadoff home run. And the fans have not even settled in here when Tobin put a charge into that one. Frank Ellerby up next. And 110 again, and that's a single for Ellerby. And he will run on a 2-6 of 2, or, well, 2 is as low as it gets, and he will stay put. George Sisler, the batter. And some fun facts about Sisler. Besides being one of the greatest offensive first basemen of all time, Sisler has a legacy that goes actually well beyond his playing days. He was one of the chief scouts in getting Jackie Robinson before the Dodgers signed him, and also worked with Robinson early in his career to help him transition to the big leagues. And in addition to that, he later joined the Pirates as a full-time coach and later as a roving hitting instructor, and worked with such Pirate greats as Willie Stargell and Roberto Clemente, who credited Sisler with helping him to keep his head still and zoned in at the plate and making him a better hitter. And he also had two sons that saw time in the big leagues, Dick and Dave. So a fairly good family legacy for the Sislers. And 5'8", and that's going to be a fly ball to center field. So after all that, he couldn't come through with a base hit after a minute or so of accolades. One down, runner on first, 6-8. And that is going to be a split, and that'll be a triple. So Ken Williams drives one into the left field corner. It rattles around, and he's going to end up at third base. Ellerby comes around to score, and just like that, the Browns have a quick and early 2-0 lead. One out, runner at third base for Baby Doll Jacobson. 3-9, and that's going to be a split, and that'll be a single. So Williams strolls home as Jacobson drives one into center field. Fielded out there by Lemon on a hop. And one RBI for Baby Doll. Feels weird calling a grown man Baby Doll, but that's his nickname, or name. Marty McManus now with runner on first base, and Jacobson did not check for his steal, and he will stay put. Marty McManus up, the pitch, 4-8, and another single, and Jacobson is a 15, and he is going to try and go to third. 15 or better, and Jacobson is gunned down, so he runs the Browns out of a potentially even bigger inning. And McManus will be on at first base. And he also has a steal jump rating to 4. He will stay put. And 2 down, Hank Severide the batter. And 4 and a 9. And that is a strikeout. But the Browns off to a fast start in this one. Sparked by Tobin's leadoff home run. And they finish the inning with 3 runs on 5 hits. 1 man left. And we go to the top of the second inning. Browns 3, White Sox 0. And Big Richie Zisk will lead it off for the Sox here in the top of the second inning. And Gilder delivers. And 1 and an 8, and struck him out. A little whiff action there for Zisk as Spencer comes up. 1 and a 3, and that's a split single. And Spencer squeezes it between first and second. And that is the first hit of the game for the Sox. And Spencer, not at all a threat to run, but we'll roll him anyway. Nope. Oscar Gamble now steps in. And Gamble the pitch. 3 and a 4. And that is a ground ball down to first base. And that is going to be fielder's choice. 3-4. And Gamble resides at first as they're unable to turn it and double him up. But 2 down now. And Eric Soderholm will try and keep the inning alive. 2-11. And that is a single. And Gamble is going to try for third. So up with it in center field is Jacobson. Here comes the throw, 1-16. He is safe. And he is in there easily. So runners at the corners now. And Shell Lemon will look to put Chicago on the board. 6-9. And that's going to be a pop out, and underneath that is third baseman Ellerby. Squeezes it, and Van Gilder is out of the inning with no damage. 2 hits, no runs, 2 men left, and we head to the bottom of the second. 3-0 Brownies. All right, designated hitter Chick Shorten. In a situation that did not exist in 1922, but he is getting playing time in at bats. And the pitch from Knapp is 1-5. That's going to be a ground ball to second base. So Shorten goes down. Order to Spencer, 1 down for the Browns. Wally Gerber, the shortstop, is up. 1-8, and that's going to be a pop out, and Soderholm is under that. Puts the glove to it, and 2 quick outs here in the second inning. We are back to the top of the order, and Jack Tobin, who got this game off to a flying start for the Brownies with a home run his first time up. And 3-4, and that's going to be popped up, and underneath that one is Spencer. And a quick 1-2-3 inning for Knapp. And we head to the third inning with our score still 3-0 Browns. Brian Downing gets set to lead it off for the White Sox here in the top of the third. Van Gilder the pitch. 1-6, and that's going to be a walk. So Downing, and he will stay put. Downing gives the Sox a base runner here to start the third, and they will look to see if they can get some momentum going against Van Gilder. Gar up, 4-3, and another walk. So now runners at first and second, nobody out. As Van Gilder doing a little bit of his Wild Thing impersonation. Bannister, 6-6. And that is going to be a fly ball to center field. And runners will hold. 1 down as Jacobson gets it back in, and Orta will be the batter. 5-7. And it'll be a strikeout. So Van Gilder gets himself in a little bit of trouble and comes back firing. 2 down, 2 on. 5-6. And that is a split chance double. Instead, that will be a single. Runners advance 2 bases. So Richie Zisk loops one over the shortstop's head. And Downing comes around to score. Gar will stop at third base, and Richie Zisk has the Sox on the board with an RBI single. Runners at the corners now for Jim Spencer. And 2-12, line out into many outs as possible. And Sisler will put that away, and that is the third out. But the Sox do get on the board, a hit, couple of walks, and we head to the bottom of the third inning. Our score, St. Louis 3 and Chicago 1. Frank Ellerby will get it started now for the Browns against Chris Knapp. Ellerby is first time up, single and scored on a Ken Williams triple. 4-7. And that's a split chance, and that'll be a line out to second base. So Ellerby goes down as Knapp seems to have settled down a little bit now. George Sisler steps up, 2-3, and that'll be a ground ball to second base. And Orta up with it over to Spencer. 2 away for the Brownies. And a 6 in a row retired now by Knapp after a very rough start. Ken Williams, 6-3. And ground ball down to first. Spencer takes it himself. And we have 3 in the books. Score, Browns 3, White Sox 1. And Oscar Gamble, who reached on a fielder's choice his last time up and was stranded at third base, leads it off for the Sox. 5 and a 6, and that's a split chance. 8 will be a single. So Gamble on for the second time. And also not a runner. Not much speed on this White Sox team. He will stay put. Soderholm singled his first time up, and the pitch is a 3 and a 7. And that will be another single. And Gamble is going to not do that and stay at second base. Electing not to test the arm. So Chet Lemon now. 2 on, nobody out. Van Gilder kicks, fires, 4-8. And split chance, and that is going to be a single. All runners will advance 1 base. So the sacks are loaded. 3 straight singles here to start the 4th inning. And Brian Downing, who walked and scored the Sox only run his first time up, has a chance to get the Sox back in this in a big way. 3-6. And that is another single. And Soderholm is a 13. He's going to try to score. And here comes a throw. And he is in there. So Downing, a 2-run single, and has knotted this game up. Gamble and Soderholm both score. And Lemon moves to third base. So first and third, nobody out. 2 runs already in, and we are back at the top of the order. And this game looked to start off as a potential blowout, and suddenly is turning with all the momentum going Chicago's way. 2-11, and that's a line out to second base. Runners are back safely. 1 down for Alan Bannister. And Bannister has grounded out to the catcher, flown out to center field. 6-12, and that's going to be a fly ball to right field. And tagging up at third is Lemon. He's going to go the throw, and he will be in there easily. So Downing holds at first base, but Bannister comes through with the sac, fly. And the RBI, and the Sox suddenly are up 4-3. 2 down, 1 on. George Order the batter. Van Gilder fires, trying to get out of the inning. 6-7. And that'll be a ground ball to second base on the X chart. And the roll is a 6. McManus is a 1. And that will be a ground out, so the inning is over. But the White Sox strike for 3 big runs, and this is a whole new ball game. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Our score now, Chicago 4, St. Louis 3, and Van Gilder had a very rough 4th inning. So Chris Knapp back on the bump, and Baby Doll Jacobson into the batter's box. Pitch from Knapp, 4-7, and that's going to be a split chance, and that'll be a line out to second base. So Baby Doll hits that on the screws, but right out of order who gloves it. So 1 down for Marty McManus. Knapp the pitch, 5-5, and struck him out. McManus whiffs at the slider, cannot tag it, it's outside. And 2 quick outs for the Browns. And that is now 9 in a row set down by Knapp as Hank Severide steps up. 3-8. And that'll be hit on the ground to shortstop. Up with it is Bannister over to Spencer. And another 1-2-3 inning for Knapp now, who is cruising and has settled in nicely. And pretty much the opposite going on for Van Gilder, who has given up 4 runs in the last 2 innings. And we'll see if he can get back on track as Richie Zisk steps in. 6-9, and that'll be a pop out to third base. Ellerby puts that one away. 1 out, Jim Spencer. Spencer has singled and lined out to Sisler. 6-6, and that's going to be a fly ball to center field, and under that is Jacobson. So 2 down, and Van Gilder looks to get out of this inning. 2-6 is going to be a walk. So that's Van Gilder's 3rd walk of the afternoon, and Gamble is on for the 3rd time. His walk single reached on a fielder's choice. Eric Soderholm has 2 singles. 6-8. And that will be a line out to Sisler, and the inning is over. So 1 walk does not come back to haunt the Browns. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Our score is still White Sox 4, St. Louis Browns 3. And Chick Shorten will lead things off for the Browns here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Shorten was the utility outfielder for this Browns squad in 1922. 5-11, and that's going to be a fly ball to right field. X, the roll is a 4. And Zisk is a 4. And he manages to get under that and puts it away. A nice running catch. I don't know if Zisk ran too much. A nice jogging catch maybe. 1 down. That's now 11 in a row set down by Knapp. 1-7 to Gerber and pops it up. And that's going to go to second base. Orta puts it away. And back to the top of the order, and Knapp is on point now. The Browns cannot touch him. 2 down. And Tobin started things off so promisingly back in the 1st. 3-4. And pops him up too. And Spencer's going to get under this one, put it away. And yet another 1-2-3 inning for Knapp, his 4th in a row. And we will head to the top of the 6th with the Sox clinging to a narrow 4-3 lead. And Chet Lemon will lead off the inning. He singled his last time up and later came around to score on a sacrifice fly by Bannister. The pitch, 2-4. And that's going to be a ground ball to shortstop. So 6-3. And downing the batter. 4-5. That's going to be a ground ball to second base. And McManus over to Sisler, and we have 2 down. So whatever was ailing Van Gilder in the 4th inning seems to have straightened itself up as we head back to the top of the order, and Ralph Garr will be the hitter. Garr has walked and hit the ball hard twice, but lined out. 1 8, and ground ball down to first. Sisler up with it. He's going to take that unassisted. And the Sox go down 1-2-3 here in the 6th inning. And we head to the bottom half, still 4-3 in favor of the Chicagoans. Chris Knapp back on the hill as Ellerby steps in. And the pitch, 4-9, struck him out. And for Knapp, that is his 3rd strikeout of the day. 1 down for the Browns. George Sisler the batter. Sisler is 0 for 2. 6-11. And ground ball back to the pitcher. Knapp up with it and over to first base. 1-3, and Sisler's retired. 2 down. And Knapp has not allowed a single base runner since the 1st inning. 6 and a 7. And just like that, I jinx him, and Williams draws the walk. And Williams, on a roll of 5 or less, will try and steal. Nope. He stays put as Jacobson steps in. 1 on, 1 down, 4-8. And that's going to be a single. And Williams, 2 outs. It'll be a 1-18. He's definitely going to try to go to third. And he is in there. So runners at the corners now. And there are 2 outs for Marty McManus. And he has a chance to get the Browns even again. 6-7. And walks him. And the bases are now loaded. So a little bit of drama here. And that's going to get some action going in the White Sox bullpen. And none other than the knuckleballer Wilbur Wood is up and starting to warm up. One of the few modern day pitchers who both won and lost 20 games in the same season. And Hank Severide now 2 down, the base is loaded. He is struck out and grounded to shortstop. The pitch, 3 and a 4. And that's going to be a ground ball down to third base. And up with it is Soderholm over to Spencer. And Knapp gets out of it. 5-3 on the putout. So 2 hits and a walk and 3 runs left as the Browns leave him juiced. And we head to the top of the 7th inning. Our score remains White Sox 4, Browns 3. And Alan Bannister will be the first hitter here in the 7th inning for the White Sox. 3 and a 5. And that's going to be a single. And he will not try and steal. So Bannister on at first base. That will bring up George Orta. Orta is 0 for 3. Grounded out, popped out, struck out for 11. And that's going to be a ground ball to short on the X chart, 13. And Gerber is a 2. And that is going to be a ground ball. Gerber picks it up and over to second base on to Sisler at first for the 6-4-3 twin killing. And 2 down. So Orta gets into a double as this comes up. Be a 1 and 6. And just struck him out. And that is the 3rd strikeout of the game for Van Gilder. So leadoff single goes to waste as Van Gilder induces a double play. And we're heading to the bottom of the 7th. Our score 4-3 in favor of the White Sox. The folks are getting settled in after the 7th inning stretch. And Wood has now been joined by Laren LeGros in the bullpen. So 2 pitchers up and throwing. And Chick Shorten, 0 for 2 thus far, will lead it off. We'll see if Knapp has any ill effects from that last inning where he got himself into trouble. 6-11. And that's going to be a ground ball back to Knapp over to first base. And Spencer for the putout. 1 down. Wally Gerber up. Gerber has popped out twice to second and third. 4-11. And that's going to be a ground ball down to first. An X, that's a 17. And Spencer is a 2. So 17 and 2 is a ground ball out. And Spencer with a nice play. Underhand flips it to Knapp. That'll go 3-1. And there's 2 down for the Browns, who are now back to the top of the order. And they could use a little bit more of that long ball magic from Jack Tobin, who got their game started with the puff and stuff back in the first. 5 and a 4. And that is going to be a ground ball to shortstop, 19. And Bannister's a 4. Bannister dives, makes the play over to Spencer and just nips him at first base. So 1, 2, 3 again. Go the Browns, and we're heading to the top of the 8th inning. And bats have been quiet the last 3.5 innings. Score remains Chicago 4 and St. Louis 3. Jim Spencer now gets set to lead it off for the White Sox in the top of the 8th. Van Gilder still on the hill for the Browns. And the pitch. That's a 1 and a 7. And that's going to be a single. And still no activity in the St. Louis pen. Spencer not a runner, but we have to roll any. Well, 3, that was close. He needed a 2 to steal. Probably good he didn't get it. Gamble up to the plate now, and Gamble has yet to be retired. 2 and an 8. And that's going to remain in force as Gamble drives one between second and first into right field. And Spencer around second base, and he is going to put on the brakes and stay there. And that's going to be enough to get some action going in the Brown bullpen as Hub Pruitt now is up and loosening up. Nobody out, and 2 on for Eric Soderholm. Soderholm was singled twice, scored a run, lined out to first base. The pitch, 2-9. And that's going to be a split chance for a home run, and he just gets under it. That ball is left field, and Williams is back by the track. He makes the catch. Runners return to first base. And he had his pitch. He could just not connect solid. That almost split this one wide open. Chet Lemon, the batter. 5-7. Struck him out. 2 down. So Van Gilder once again threatened, but comes back strong. And Brian Downing will be the batter. He has walked and singled, scored a run, and driven in 2. And that's going to be a 4-8. And that'll be a single. And with 2 down, Spencer will be a 13. They're waving him home, folks. And here comes the throw. And Downing, or Spencer, sorry, with the lumbering speed. And it's 5-3 now, the Sox, as Gamble goes to third, and Downing has his 3rd RBI of the day. And none bigger than that one. And with that, it looks like we are going to have a pitching change. So Van Gilder's day will end at 7 2/3. And at this point, he has given up 5 runs, all earned, and is still going to be responsible for the runners on base. And Hub Pruitt will come on, and we'll be facing Ralph Garr. So 2 down, Pruitt winds, 4-6, it's in his hands, and Pruitt cannot get it done. Garr singles back up the middle. And Gamble comes home to score. And Downing is going to hold up at second base. But Ralph Garr with the RBI single. And the Sox now up 6-3. And Larry LeGros will definitely be coming in after this. 1-8 to Bannister. And that's going to be popped up to second base. McManus under it. And the Browns are out of it, but a costly inning with 2 more runs coming across. And we head to the bottom of the 8th, and the Sox hold a 6-3 lead. And that is going to be it for Chris Knapp. Knapp goes 7. And outside of the first inning, he was really stellar. He only gave up 2 hits and a walk after the first inning, and at one point, he had set down 13, 14, 15 batters in a row. So Knapp, a good outing. And he is in line to get the win here, so long as LeGros can hold on. And the first batter he will face in the 8th is Frank Ellerby. And they're going to ask Laren to go 2 innings here, 1-11. And Ellerby greets him with a sinking line drive that gets into the gap, and he's going to go to second with a double. So the Browns are not dead yet. And they have the meat of their order coming up with George Sisler. Sisler's due. He is 0 for 3. Got a great little introduction his first time up on his legacy and what he's meant to the game, and has not done anything yet. 4-10. And that's going to be a fly ball to center field, and he remains with the collar. Runner holds at second base, 1 down. Ken Williams, the batter. Williams today is singled and walked. He has scored a run. 2-5. And Williams is going to single. And Ellerby, probably the slowest of the Browns, will stay put at third base. Not wanting to make that second out at home. They hold him up. And Baby Doll Jacobson. Wilbur Wood is back up in the pen for the Sox. And 1-9. And ground ball to shortstop, and the infield is not in, so that is going to be a double play. 6-4-3, and LeGros gets into a little bit of trouble and gets right back out of it as he induces a double play from Jacobson. And the Browns threaten but cannot score, and we're heading to the top of the ninth. And score remains White Sox 6 and the Browns 3. So Pruitt will face George Orta to start the visiting half of the ninth. 3-6, and that's going to be a ground ball to shortstop, and Gerber takes care of that one. 1 down. Richie Zisk, the batter. Zisk is singled, knocked in a run, struck out a couple of times. 6-5. And he's going to draw the walk this time. So Pruitt issues 4 wide ones, and the Sox have a runner at first. Jim Spencer, the batter. And the left-handed hitting Spencer. 6-9. And that's going to be a strikeout. Cannot catch up with a heat. And 2 down now. And Eric Soderholm. Soderholm has had a... Oops. Not Soderholm. Gamble is due up. And some confusion with the Sox here, as Gamble is nowhere to be found. Here he comes, grabs his helmet and rushes out. Got caught back in the clubhouse. And 2 down, 1 on. Here's the pitch from Pruitt, and that's going to be a 4-10, and walks him. So Gamble took his time getting to the plate, and that threw Pruitt off, and he gets another free pass. That's his second time drawing a walk today, and now Eric Soderholm is up. 5-4, and that's going to be a ground ball to third base on the X chart. That's 19. And Ellerby is a 3. And that is going to be a 2-base error by Ellerby. He throws it into the stands. So Zisk comes around to score. Gamble winds up at third. And that will be an unearned run for Pruitt. On the E5, no RBI on that, and now the lead gets even more insurmountable as Chet Lemon comes to the plate. 7-3 Sox. 3-9, and struck him out to end the inning. But an errant throw by Ellerby leads to yet another run, and we head to the last half of the ninth. Last chance for the Browns, and the Chicago White Sox hold a comfortable 7-3 lead. And Laren LeGros is back out to face Marty McManus. And he will look to put this one away. 1-11. And that's going to be pop out, and that's going to be into shallow center field. Bannister back, puts the glove to it, and we have one away. Hank Severide, the batter. Severide 0 for 3 is struck out, grounded out twice, 4 and a 10. And fly ball to center field. Lemon gloves that, and we are 1 out away from the Sox evening this opening day series at 1 apiece and getting revenge for the opener against these men in the funny flannel uniforms. 5-9, and struck him out to end the game. So Shorten goes down swinging as LeGros completes a perfect 9th inning. And this one is in the books, folks. The White Sox come back and secure a 7-3 win over the St. Louis Browns, who got off to a great start. But then Knapp went to work, shut them down. LeGros comes on to finish it. Knapp will be the winning pitcher. LeGros entered in a save situation, so he will get the save despite the 4-run difference at the end. And the Browns are now 1-1 in their foray into 1977. Until next time, happy rolling and have a good night.